Welcome to this episode of Positively Mebane Weekly Stream. I'm Mitch McKinney, Chief of Police, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch. One of our biggest commitments as a police department is keeping our community informed. We believe in transparency, but we also have a responsibility to balance the public's right to know with the need to protect investigations, privacy, and public safety. So today I want to address some recent questions we've been getting from the community. Let's talk about what we can share and what we can't share, and discuss the why behind that. I guess the first place we'll start is with routine police activity. Why do officers do what they do? One of the common questions that I've recently received was, why is an officer driving through my neighborhood? Our officers regularly patrol neighborhoods to keep our community safe. We aren't always just responding to calls. We're working to prevent crime before it happens. High visibility patrols help deter criminal activity, build relationships with residents, and ensure that if something does happen, we're already in the area to address it. I had a very specific question about why an officer was sitting in the median on I-40. Officers conduct traffic enforcement to keep our roadways safe. Speeding and reckless driving are two of the leading causes of crashes. When you see an officer running radar, they're not just handing out tickets, they're preventing accidents and saving people's lives by encouraging the public to come into compliance with our speed regulations. All right, let's take a moment to talk about the high-profile investigations we've been involved with over the last couple of weeks. As many of you are aware, we had a stabbing occur at Lowe's grocery store. We understand that people want answers when a serious crime like this occurs. We have shared everything we legally can and ethically can in our official press release. The case is still under investigation, which means we cannot release certain details that could compromise the outcome. If and when more information becomes available, we will provide those updates. A few weeks ago, unfortunately, we had a shooting involving 4 women. This was determined to be a domestic-related incident between the individuals who knew one another. Again, we shared what we can and no further details were released. But if there's ever an ongoing threat to public safety, we will notify the community immediately. When an investigation is contained and there's no longer an ongoing danger, we must respect the privacy of those individuals involved and let the legal process take its course. We release information based around these challenges, but we're very committed to being timely and informing our community whenever and wherever we can. Keeping the community informed presents some challenges for us currently. One of the most common concerns we hear about is how quickly we release information. We understand that when something happens in Mebane, people want details as soon as possible. And while we do our best to get updates out quickly, there are some challenges we face. We do not have a dedicated public information officer working at the police department. We work in tandem with Kelly Hunter, our city public information officer. Sometimes the information that we get is inaccurate, and we want to make sure that we're giving you accurate information as quickly as we can. We would just ask for your patience. We would also ask you to consider that sometimes some of the individuals that are responsible for getting this information out to you may be away from the office for a variety of reasons, whether that be a vacation, a medical appointment, potential holiday. Again, I want to reemphasize there are times that we are required by law to protect the information of an individual involved in a case that we're considering or reviewing as part of our normal operational practices. There's also ethical standards regarding what we should release and making sure that we don't compromise any of our witnesses or victims or put them in an uncomfortable space by releasing information before we've had a chance to talk to them about it and about the why behind the need to release that information. So I guess the point I want to make today is Mebane Police Department is very committed to transparency, and we take that very seriously. We will always share what we can, and when we can't, it's because we're protecting victims, investigations, and the legal process. We appreciate your trust, your patience, and your support. But if you ever have questions or concerns, you can reach out to us through our official channels, follow our social media pages for updates, attend community meetings, and stay engaged. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay positively charming.